It sounds like the divided states of America. Let's go.
I just had a nightmare that I had to choose between 40 brands of toilet paper. It wasn't a nightmare. This is the US. I always enjoy coming back to the US to see family, friends, nature. The nature is unbeatable, especially in a place like California. But living in the US is sort of like living in one big Hollywood movie. It's an experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And after 4 years in Europe, I'm back in the US at the moment. So let me show you how I see the US now. It's time to do some grocery shopping. And of course, I hop in my car.
At this point, I don't know like what major differences can there be, but I'm curious.
And drive 2 blocks to my local supermarket. And why walk when one can drive? Grocery shopping is an experience, an adventure. You see, I'm used to only 1 or 2 choices of brands to choose from in the Netherlands. Here, there are like 50 brands of everything to choose from toilet paper to sausages to coffee. Let's see, hazelnut, maple pecan. I'm gonna go with caramel spice this time. On one hand, the variety is amazing. On the other, it can take me up to 15 minutes to buy toilet paper. And oh, do you know about our national treasure, Costco? At Costco, you'll find anything and everything in extra, extra, extra large. Everything really is bigger in the US. Plus,
This is like a giant storehouse. I've never been in a Costco. In India, Cressy, I think there is a Costco there. That's like half the size of a city. that's hilarious. Watch that movie. That's a great movie, by the way. In Hungary, I think we also have multiple brands. I would say, depending on what you want to buy, but I think in general it's like 4 or 5 brands at least. Here in the UK, I think it's fewer than that. It's like 2 or 3 so far, but maybe I'm not right.
the free samples, and the cheap hot dogs, and yes, unlimited drink refills. This is America.
Holy crap, this
Hey, we have unlimited drink refills in Burger Kings and McDonald's in Hungary as well. Like, what do you mean? KFCs too.
selection is crazy. And while it's really nice to come back and see all this variety in supermarkets from Safeway to Costco to Trader Joe's, it can be sometimes overwhelming when you have every single possible combination of coffee, toilet paper, and it can take me up to 20 minutes to buy a bag of chips. And the thing about free soda refills, while I still
So they have free soda refills in Costco, in like the supermarkets, not in the restaurants, in fast food restaurants. I totally okay. I genuinely thought that it was only in the restaurants. Why would you have free soda refills there? That's weird. That's interesting. One more thing I wanted to say, by the way, is that there is I don't know if it's an experiment or something, but it's like a psychological phenomenon. And they in Hungary, I was the way how they explained it to me was with ice creams, and I actually talked to people who work in confectionaries about this, like how true it is. That so there is this like very famous thing that if you have multiple options to buy something like ice creams, for example, if you go into a confectionery and you want to buy ice cream and you say and they say, okay, here are like 3 or 4 flavors like vanilla, chocolate, lemon, and whatever, like I don't know, strawberry, then it's much easier for you to choose than if there are like 50 different flavors. People don't necessarily like having too many options because they get lost. They don't, even though it's just the abundance of options is awesome in theory, but they don't like wasting so much time with like trying to figure out what they want to pick. Choice paralysis, I would call it that way. Choice overload. Yeah, I think it's choice paralysis. Yeah.
love the concept and I loved it as a child. It's actually not so free because it's going to cost you in the long run in terms of your health.
It's time to go meet some friends for lunch. And on the way there, I see them. Oh my. It's always a shock. The homeless.
I mean, yeah, homeless people are everywhere, in Hungary as well. There was a new law introduced a few years ago, like 5 years ago in Budapest, where they literally banned homeless people living on the street. They were not allowed. It was illegal. So they made it illegal to be homeless. That's exactly what the law says. And people didn't disappear. So people are still homeless. It's just that occasionally some policeman walk around and they'll, I don't know, they start teasing these people, and that's it. And that's what happens. People are still homeless. It didn't solve anything.
This is the part that Hollywood never shows. But life goes on. It's part of everyday life in a big city. But I am looking forward to lunch and the food scene in the US. From Asian to Mexican to everything in between, there is something for everyone. And fast food everywhere. Every block, every mall, every day. No wonder everyone is so big.
I think Hungary is one of the most obese countries in Europe, probably in the top 3 or something. And we don't have this many options for fast food restaurants, but we cook in a way that the meals are like full of carbohydrates and like fat. So not very healthy, let's say that. So it's probably the reason. But yeah, the US is insanity. I'm not surprised that they are fat. Hungry cooks like everyone still works in the fields. Yeah, true. That's very true.
Damn, I already gained 20 pounds, but I know I will lose it all.
He said, I am here in the US temporarily, for now.
So big. Damn, I already gained 20 pounds.
How do you just gain 9 kilograms like this? But if I start gaining kilograms, like 2 or 3, I already feel it. Like my body, it's not something that just comes up. You start feeling puffier and like heavier somehow. I don't know. That's interesting.
But I know I will lose it all when I get back to the Netherlands. And during lunch, my friend mentions her son had an allergic reaction, went to the emergency room. Luckily, he was fine, but they received a bill for $20,000. And then my other friend tells me about the time he fainted, got transported to the ER, and was handed a $10,000 bill. It definitely makes one think twice before deciding to go to the ER. And then we talk about work, which is the most American thing to talk about.
I think the most American thing to talk about is the healthcare system. I regularly shit on the Hungarian healthcare system, but to be fair, it's still tremendously better than the US one, which doesn't exist apparently. Like, it's crazy that someone who is vulnerable, who faints, who is in danger, and goes to the ER, or someone even who has cancer and stuff, is just not taken care of by the state, by the government, by the authorities. How the f does this happen? How, like, what happened to the US that they don't try to protect their citizens? I don't understand how this is a system. How this can be a system that leaves people behind and basically just lets them die. That is insane. Imagine dying because you can't afford insulin. Yeah, it's what the fuck? I don't understand.
And he tells me casually, it's fine, same old, had to work this past weekend. Still working 60 hours a week. And I think to myself,
if I ever decide to return back to the US, I think it would be quite difficult for me to adapt back to the American way of life, culture, in terms of working, the number of hours, the stress, the lack of vacation, the fact that people don't take their vacation days, but I do miss parts of American work culture, the drive, the ambition, the energy.
I love that. I love that the subtitles said
Miss parts of American work culture.
that is such a Freudian slip there. I love it. I do miss parts of American war culture. I love it so much.
The drive, the ambition, the energy, being surrounded by people who are very ambitious about their careers. It drove me to become a better person, a more confident person. And to be honest, I do miss that because that is part of my DNA growing up in the US. But it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off between, yes, you do make a lot more money in the US, but the trade-off is time.
And then we start talking
Wow, which is the most valuable thing you have. Yeah. Wow.
about vacation. Another friend tells me about his jam-packed 1-week vacation visiting 4 countries. And I was like, how is that possible? 4 countries, 1 week? Then I remember. That's how I used to travel as well.
And that's the thing, right? When you don't have that much time, you learn to pack everything in. I remember when I was traveling to Europe during my first time, I traveled to 10 countries in 2 weeks because, well, when you only have 2 weeks, you learn to pack everything in. I had this Google Sheets, the agenda every day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
So they basically go on a holiday just like as if they went to work, right? Or just like as if they played games or consumed stuff. They just keep consuming. Like for me, when I go on holiday, what I want is to go somewhere, like put my stuff, so like, you know, like have like a hotel room or something, pack out and like just go out and walk around. And when I'm tired, I just go back and rest. I go to the beach, I sunbathe, I chill, I don't rush anywhere. When I feel like walking around, I walk around. When I don't feel like walking around, I don't walk around. But not speedrunning vacation. Exactly, Walter. Yeah. You wanted to see Europe speedrun style. Yeah, but if you see too many things, you don't see anything. That's just how it works. Like, this is American culture so much, actually. Yeah. Rather than enjoying the moment and like being there, slowing down, appreciating every minute you have in life, just rushing around and wasting, I don't know.
Every hour had an agenda, something to do. And that's the thing, right? When you travel so far to Europe, to Asia from the US, and you only have 1-2 weeks, you better make the most out of your time. Now let's get back to paying the bill.
It's understandable though, and I'm not saying it's not understandable. It's just so sad. I think we are more, as human beings, we are more than this. Like constantly pushing and fighting for our goals at work, and then when we have a moment to rest, constantly pushing and seeing as much as possible, not even understanding what we see, but like, okay, now I saw Rome, let's fly to Paris. Now I saw Paris, okay, let's fly to Budapest, let's check out Budapest, oh, that's amazing. And like, okay, and then the 1 week is over and going back home and to work. That is insane. It's just the essence of slowing down. It's just so lost.
But wait, what the hell is this? Sales tax? Tip? Madness! I need to walk off this madness and the lunch. I walk towards Stanford University, which is nearby.
I'm sorry, I didn't address this. What is this exactly?
Out of your
Sales
time.
tax?
Now let's get back to paying the bill.
Yeah. Subtotal sales tax. I mean, what's wrong with this? The sales tax is the problem here? Budapest is a pretty city. Thank you, Show. What's up? What is wrong with this? Can somebody explain? Yeah, we have tax on like consumption as well in Budapest or in Hungary. So I don't understand. Oh, the tips part. You itemize all the costs and the tip is expected. The problem is that it's never included in the listed price. Oh, hold on. Okay.
What the hell is this? Sales tax? Tip? Madness!
Oh, I see. Yeah, tips are bullshit. I think. I want to give tips to the cashier as well. We should tip everybody. We should not fix payments ever. We should not support the everyday people doing everyday jobs. Absolutely not. We should, as a government, we should just expect people to pay the tips.
I need to walk off this madness and the lunch. I walk towards Stanford University, which is nearby. I walk, and then I realize that I'm the only person walking. Oh wow, it's a lot further than I thought. No wonder nobody walks in the US. I arrived at campus to see
But they have nice pavements though, right? Those sidewalks, as opposed to China, right, where they barely have any space, and they have like these like capsule hotels even. The US is full of space, apparently. The tip culture is also how the owners of food service industry cut the servers' hourly wage in half and expect them to earn the other half in tips. Yeah, true. Very true. So originally, it was to incentivize good customer service back in the 50s, but it just got out of control. Absolutely.
bunch of tourists. American universities, especially elite ones, are tourist hotspots. The brand name, the letters, the cost of tuition. It's one of the biggest businesses in the US. And then I overhear some people talking about the most recent mass shooting.
A mass shooting at an American school in suburban Denver.
We are 25 days in, and there have been 40 mass.
"2023 mass shootings? Jesus Christ." I want to go back for a sec.
At an American school in suburban Denver.
We are 25 days in, and there have been 40 mass shootings.
It seems like
We are 25 days in and there have been 40 mass shootings? What the fuck is wrong with the US? I knew that there were a lot, but not this many. Mass shootings in the US are on the rise. Incidents in which 4 or more people were killed or injured. What I find hilarious is that a generation that grew up getting shot at is afraid to make phone calls to make appointments. Have you guys seen the picture I posted in the meme section? For $50, I'll do whatever you want. Introverts, can you make a doctor's appointment for me? Alright. So let's continue.
this is the norm nowadays in the US. It's sad and it's horrible. And oh yeah, the police, they beat up someone else again. What's sad is that many people no longer trust the police. And I know plenty of great police officers, but all it takes is a few bad apples to ruin it for the rest of them. Now I wonder what the news outlets are.
These were all black people. Oh, hold on. These are officers? What, are these the officers, or are these the 5 officers charged? These are the officers, right? I thought they were the beaten people. Oh yeah.
No longer trust the police. And I know
4 officers charged after man dies in custody. I think he's the one who died. The white ones don't get charged.
plenty of great police officers.
Okay.
But all it takes is a few bad apples to ruin it for the rest of them. Now I wonder what the news outlets are saying, because I've stopped reading the news. It's
So this is a 2-year-old video.
like this all-out war, CNN versus Fox. You get 2 different stories. It seems like such a divided country nowadays. The left versus the right, Democrats versus Republicans, the police versus the world.
And this is the thing that always shocks me when I come back now. How divided the country has become. I mean, you can literally lose a friend because of politics. The media has done a role in pitting this group versus this group as well. And it's sad because
It's not just the media. And there were a lot of social issues that were not addressed by the government. And there are like multiple levels of problems that ended up in this division of society. It's not just the media. The media works in a way that it always goes for the clickbait. So it always goes for whatever makes them watched more, and that's it. There are no morals here. They're companies who want to make money, and that's it. There are way more deeper problems, just like in Hungary. Uh, when we talk about the government manipulating a lot of people with the propaganda, sure they do, but there are multiple levels of problems here that were not addressed even before this authoritarian government that is there in Hungary now. So it's never just the media. You can never just like blame one side of the coin.
It doesn't seem so united anymore. It seems quite divided every time I come back, and it's sad.
It sounds like the divided states of America.
And the thing about the police, well, the police, they have such a bad reputation now, when in fact, they should be part of the community, protecting people. And yes, there have been very unfortunate events that have happened. But when I think about the majority of the police officers that I have met in the past, they've been good people, genuinely good people. And nowadays, we tend to label people based on this profession.
I mean, of course. That's why you need some kind of an unbiased, government financed central media, a little bit of it, with the legacy media, with everything else around it, that shows the reality as well. It's just the danger of this kind of media being influenced by the random governments that get into power. Yeah, sure, that's a huge danger there, but you need some kind of a reliable source as well, because the media will generally always try to highlight the extremes, because that's what generates clickbait.
It's a bias, when in fact, I think it's wrong to do that. I think we should judge people based on their character, not on a label that we attach them to. But yeah, I hope things get better. I don't think so in the short term, but I hope things get better.
But hey, at least public restrooms are still free in the US. It's time to head to the mall to do some shopping and say hello to American consumerism and overly friendly customer service people. Shopping in the US is sort of like a game, looking for deals, getting credit card points. It can be extremely fun and addicting. But this is all part of the game of American consumerism, so be careful, or else you'll be in credit card debt like a dearth of Americans. Well, it's late and it's time to head home.
One thing I hate when I go to a shop and like people immediately jump on me like, "Hey, can I help you? What can I do for you? Oh, what are you looking for? That's amazing." And they start selling the stuff immediately, and I leave the shop when they do that. Exactly, I have this feeling as well that I want to go somewhere else. Just leave me alone. Let me think. Let me check out things that I like or not. And I will ask you when I need help. You don't need to be in my ass. On my ass. Goddamn.
And of course, there's traffic at 3 p.m. And this guy ahead of me just cut off the cyclist. It's quite a shock to see bikes, cars, buses, motorcycles all merging together in one lane. It can be quite dangerous to cycle in an American city. I then go and meet some friends for a drink, and I meet all these techies. And of course, I get asked the popular question.
Hey, so what do you do? I make YouTube videos. Oh, so you work for YouTube and Google, right? No, I just make videos. Oh, okay.
In Hungary, if you say this, that I make YouTube videos or I stream, they look at you and they're like, so you don't really have a normal job, right? Which is very true. Actually, no, I don't. Not really. Yeah. Okay, and are you planning to get a normal job? I mean, no, I'm happy this way, thank you. Okay.
So this is something that Americans do really well. We tend to compare ourselves against one another. It's a very competitive society. And we do this at a very young age. Which school, which college did you go to? what type of job, which company, who got promoted. It's part of the system.
That's exactly the same in Hungary. Like, that's what parents talk about. Like, hey, my daughter went here and she's about to graduate, and like, okay, my son is there. Like, he's working for whatever bank, and it is the same bullshit. Always like, I don't know, flexing with stuff. You make videos, but what's your 9 to 5? Yeah, what's your 9 to 5? Exactly.
It's a very competitive society, in my opinion, compared to other societies. And I remember there was one time when I first started off my career, I was working in the Big Four accounting firm. And I went out to a bar with some friends. They were all investment bankers. And I was talking to this one girl who was an investment banker. And of course, we talked about what we did. And when I told her that I worked in a Big Four firm, she kind of looked down upon me and said something very judgmental, like, oh, you only work at a Big Four company. And so I just remember feeling very crappy at that point in time, like I wasn't good enough. But I don't blame her. It's the system that we grow up in.
I blame her. No, I understand, of course.
And we tend to judge each other based on what we do.
What a long, exhausting day. Just another day in Hollywood. Just another day in the US of A.
Right, I think this was a great video. I like watching these kind of videos. We might watch more of these. Now we're going back to POE 2. Yay!